But for everybody that raised all that hell, everybody that bought your dashikis and bought your head wraps and your ankhs and whatnot, go and watch the damn movie. And got all dressed up to see Disney's Black Panther, go and watch the damn movie. No shade, but there should be the same, if not more, energy for this movie. Go and watch the damn movie for this story. I'm gonna fall back and stall y'all out, but I'm just saying. Hashtag facts. Go and watch the damn movie. What's good with it, people? Welcome to the Joe Blackula Perspective presents Behind the Curtain, where I will either be reviewing or revisiting movies and sharing my honest thoughts and opinions on them. And I am your host, the infamous Joe Blackula. Cue my drop.
Joe Blackula.
Thank you kindly. Judas and the Black Messiah was released on February the 12th, 2021 in limited release in theaters and on HBO Max streaming service. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes running time. It's directed by Shaka King, produced by Ryan Coogler, written by Will Burson and Shaka King, and stars Daniel Kaluuya as Chairman Fred Hampton, Lakeith Stanfield as William O'Neill, Dominique Fishback as Sister Deborah Johnson, Jesse Plemons, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, as Roy Mitchell, Ashton Sanders as Jimmy Palmer, and Martin Sheen as J. Edgar Hoover, which means I hated Martin Sheen for every limited scene that he was in for this entire movie. Sidebar! This is a super sidebar. Did you know that Martin Sheen's actual name is Ramon Antonio Geraldo Esteves? One of his sons, who was professionally known as Charlie Sheen, was born as Carlos Erwin Esteves. But Emilio Esteves actually kept his name. Now I'm sure that the story is out there, but I am personally looking forward to doing the needed homework and finding out what exactly is behind these name changes. And why Emilio said yeah, no, to changing his name to like Eddie Sheen or something like that. You know what? What would be a good name for Emilio? If Carlos went to Charlie, what would Emilio could have been? What's an E name for, like, if you wanted to be like a WASP, like a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant name? What's a good E name? Edward Sheen. I want to know how come Emilio didn't become like Edward Sheen. How come he didn't just break bad and say, damn that, okay, you're Chuck Sheen, that's Martin Sheen, I'm gonna be, who did I say? I said Eddie? Edward, I said Edward Sheen? Okay, Edward Sheen. That would've worked. Because them three cats are not giving off no type of Latino vibes at all. Ryan Coogler is the producer of this movie, and he's actually most known for directing behind the camera. Just to name a few of his movies, Fruitvale Station, that was 2013, he directed that. Creed in 2015, and Black Panther in 2018. But what I'm finding out is that most people either don't know or they don't understand the role of being a movie producer. Short version, they're responsible for everybody getting together. That's it. So whenever I see that someone black produced a movie, especially a movie of one of our stories, I ain't about to go off on a rant, at least not now. But to know that it was a young brother heading this story about Chairman Fred, man, I'm happy. Watch me smile. No, temporary. I think once again I smiled though, but like on the inside. I smiled on the inside and here. Like the Karate Man. See, the Karate Man, he bruised on the inside. You understand what I'm saying? That's inside joke. If you ain't see Trading Places, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. Now, what I should do right now is add that scene when Billy Ray Valentine is locked up in a cell and he's talking to them cats that's in there with him.
You putting a man in the hospital? How come I don't see no marks on you?
Yeah.
Because I'm a karate man, all right? Karate man bruise on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. But you don't know that because you're a big Barry White looking motherfucker.
Failed to mention, I've been noticing that Shaka King, who is the director of this movie, the actual director of this movie, he's also one of the writers, he's also one of the producers, as well as one of the executive producers of Judas and the Black Messiah. He isn't really getting enough credit for actually directing this. Most people that I hear talking about this movie, they're really only giving a lot of shine and praise to Ryan Coogler. Now, before Judas and the Black Messiah, Shaka had actually only done like a few movie shorts and a TV series called Shrill. I'd never heard of that before. But know this movie could be the movie that actually put brother over the top. So I'm saying, man, let him get his shine. Give him his proper due. The man deserves the rightful credit. He did a great job. Word up. All right, so let me go ahead and get this official Rotten Tomatoes review out of the way so I can unpack this plot. The Rotten Tomato version of it kind of keep me in the right state of mind and keep me on track about as much as possible. All right, now I'm reading. This is when I'm gonna show the trailer. I'm gonna go to like B-roll, show the trailer. FBI informant William O'Neill infiltrates the Illinois Black Panther Party and is tasked with keeping tabs on their charismatic leader, Chairman Fred Hampton. A career thief, O'Neill revels in the danger of manipulating both his comrades and his handler, Special Agent Roy Mitchell. Hampton's political prowess grows as he's falling in love with fellow revolutionary Deborah Johnson. Meanwhile, a battle wages for O'Neill's soul. Will he align with the forces of good or subdue Hampton and the Panthers by any means, as FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover commands? It was this word, align with the forces of good. That just sounds real Star Wars-ish to me, like the forces of good. And well, there's no good forces. What are you talking about, forces of good? I'm just now seeing that, the forces of good. Like, the forces of good against the forces of evil. Ooh, like my man Count Floyd used to say on SCTV, ooh, scaredy.
Oh, that's gonna be a scary film. Let me tell you, because.
So before I get officially started with this review, I have to say that I was severely biased by this movie. I have said before, I am a native Chicagoan, born and raised here. South Side, Southeast Side, Greater Grand Crossing, Chatham Village. My family, my parents were very socially conscious. My mother did a lot of work and a lot of silent support for the Chicago chapter of the Black Panther Party. My dad, who introduced me to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, actually met my mother at a Panther rally. This pic that's over my shoulder of my parents is a pic that was taken of the two of them at a Panther rally in 1968, 5 years before I got cranked out in November of 1973. So yeah, this story means a lot to me, as well as a lot of Chicagoans of my generation, as well as the generation of my parents. Now, usually when it comes down to Chicago stories, or even stories that were shot in Chicago, I am checking very close to make sure that everything is accurate. They're in a certain year, I'm checking for the clothes, I'm checking for the cars. And man, they better not get the addresses or the locations wrong, because I am going to be feeling a certain kind of way. But once again, with this story, I had to relax a little bit. I had to fall back and just watch, which was not easy at times. A moment of digression, if you don't mind. Please allow me to digress. Now, although there was a moment early in the movie, actually at the 11-minute and 59-second mark, when Chairman Fred said, and I quote, "You need tools, brother? We got the tools at 75th and Madison." Now, a Chicagoan knows that there is no such damn location as no 75th and Madison, because both streets run east to west and they absolutely do not cross ever. But yeah, I'm nitpicking. But maybe they crossed in 1968. Maybe I need to check that out. But other than that, as of right now, no. As of my entire lifetime, no. They don't ever cross. And there was another scene where this character called the police on this brother. And he told the police on the horn that he lived at Lawndale and 45th. Now, in Chicago, especially on the south side, okay, when we letting folk know where we live at or where they need to meet us at, you say the number first and then the name afterwards. So you say the street first and then the avenue second. So technically it would have been 45th Street and Lawndale Avenue. How it would flow would be 45th and Lawndale, not Lawndale and 45th. I'm just saying, my thing is get it right, man. Now, first off, I have a lot of first offs, I'm realizing that right now. Daniel Kaluuya as Chairman Fred did an excellent job. Now, when I first read that he was playing Chairman Fred, I had a really fam moment. I was like, really fam? Daniel Kaluuya? But when you hear his voice, my man's absolutely nailed it. Accent and all. And I'm talking that Chairman Fred accent. That accent that I grew up wondering, man, where is he from? Even to this day, I'm not used to hearing Chicago accents sound like that. Daniel also has a lot of acting in his eyes. Them intense, yellowish red eyes. Look, I ain't bagging on my mans, but y'all know damn well his eyes is yellow and red. I saw them eyes in Get Out, because there's a lot of scenes when that camera is close in his face. I saw them red and yellow eyes again in Black Panther, and I saw it in the trailer for that movie Queen and Slim, which I did not see. I was suspect at first because I'm like, man, dude don't even look like Chairman Fred. But it wasn't about the look. It wasn't about the fact that my mans was born in London. It was about becoming what I've learned in my lifetime about Chairman Fred. Now, Daniel has already proved that he's one of our great actors representing our generation, and he absolutely nailed it. How do I know? Because after a certain amount of time, I forgot that I was looking at Daniel, and I'm thinking, bruh, this is Chairman Fred I've been looking at here. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Ain't no damn spoilers. Go watch the damn movie. If you don't know or you didn't know anything about Chairman Fred, that's besides the fact. I can partially dig that and I understand completely. They keep these key figures from our history quiet for a reason. And what Martin Sheen's J. Edgar Hoover character said, to stop the rise of another black messiah. Actress Dominique Fishback, man, this is gonna kill me. Actress Dominique Fishback played Sister Deborah Johnson, Chairman Fred's fiance. HBO had this series called The Deuce, ran for 4 years. Created by the same cast that did The Wire and The Sopranos. Dope series. I think a lot of people slept on it. I'm saying, check it out. I knew Dominique from that series and a few other movies as well. The first one that comes to mind is that Netflix movie that came out, I think, in 2020. I think it was called The Power Project. No, Project Power. She played a teenager in that. I remember because she was in high school. I didn't finish that movie either. I just couldn't. In The Deuce, I think she had to been in her 20s. She was in the movie The Hate You Give. And if you check Wikipedia, it said that she was born March 22nd, 1991. So as of now, her acting range is like a broad 15 years. So pretty much she can play any character between 17 and 30. That's dope, man. But Dominique handled this role. I was very glad to see her, and she's another actress that did a great job. Kept my attention the entire time. Actor Lakeith Stanfield plays the snitch, the rat, the lead rodent, FBI informant Bill O'Neill. Rat bastard, son of a bitch, you! And man, Lakeith, this brother is great. He's another actor with those eyes. He got some intense eyes, man. I remember when I first saw him in the movie Straight Outta Compton. He played Snoop Doggy Dogg. I remember I was suspect on that choice at the time. I mean, hell, honestly, I think Nipsey could have played him. He was also in the movie Get Out, once again co-starring with actor Daniel Kaluuya. So this movie is kind of like a reunion of sorts. I caught on with the FX series Atlanta after they'd been on for 2 seasons, which definitely is a character-based show, and I became a fan of Lakeith's character on Atlanta. Actor Jesse Plemons, man, I'm struggling with these names, man, portrays FBI agent Roy Mitchell. I've seen Jesse, I'm just realizing it's a white man named Jesse. I have only known one other white man named Jesse, and that was Uncle Jesse Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard. And now that I think about it, I think Uncle Jesse was racist. He was a moonshiner. His 2 nephews rode around in the General Lee with a Confederate flag on it, and I never remember any black people in Hazzard County. That was a sidebar. Jesse the Body. How could I have forgotten about Jesse the Body Ventura? I grew up on wrestling, man. I should be ashamed of myself. I digress. Moving on. I have seen actor Jesse Plemons. Initially, I first saw him in Black Mass with Johnny Depp. He kind of played like this big oaf dude. He ran around with Whitey Bulger. I think he was like Whitey Bulger's muscle. Wasn't too bright. He was in The Irishman, where he played Al Pacino's character of Jimmy Hoffa. I think he played his godson or his stepson, something like that. He wasn't too bright in that as well. Had a major scene in The Irishman about a fish. But in Judas and the Black Messiah, straight up villain. He's another one where his face, I just don't like his face. It's like he looked like he done got beat up all the time. I saw a few more faces that I recognize as well. Ashton Sanders stars as Panther Jimmy Palmer. I've been more in tune with this brother on the FX series about the Wu-Tang Clan. where he plays the RZA, which is like the lead main character of the series. Actor Daryl Britt Gibson plays Black Panther Bobby Rush. Bobby Rush holds a very special place here in Chicago as far as Chicago history goes. I'm looking forward to finding out what he thinks about this movie, what exactly they put on the screen and how he was portrayed. And Chicago's own Lil Rel Howery. I saw Lil Rel's name like in the intro credits, and I'm like, oh, okay, good. Movie goes on, I get into it, then I see this cat in this scene. I'm hearing this voice and I'm thinking to myself, I know that voice. And it's Lil Rel. There he is, Lil Rel. But, well, I'll just say this much. If you blink, you might miss him, but the scene that he's in is a very important, intense scene between him and Lakeith. So now that I think about it, I will actually list this as a heavy scene of the movie. One of the heavy scenes of the movie. The scene that Lil Rel's character has with that snitch, that rat informant Bill O'Neal's character, played excellently by Lakeith Stanfield. It ain't a lot, the scene doesn't run that long, but it put me in the mind of this scene in the movie JFK when Donald Sutherland's character, I think they called him Mr. X. Look at the irony of that. Mr. X met Kevin Costner's character of Jim Garrison in DC in this park. And Mr. X kind of put Kevin Costner's character of Jim Garrison up on some game as far as like, man, what's about to happen? I'm not saying that that's what happened between Lil Rel's character and Lakeith's character, but it definitely put me in that type of mindset where it was like, wow. Proud to see that Lil Rel is still at it. And I'm also proud to see that my man's Lil Rel is a part of this movie, which is definitely going to be one of our black cinematic treasures. This movie has a lot of dope scenes, mainly a lot of the way they executed a lot of the historical press conference moments, and the way the DP, the director of photography, I forgot to write the DP's name down, so I'm gonna list it right here in the lower third information, but the way that the camera follows some of the actors in some of the scenes, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of scenes in the cars, driving scenes. I love those scenes. There's a couple of those, but especially in the way that the camera follows behind Chairman Fred as he enters this rally, the way that the camera follows him coming up the stairs, then the way he comes into the room, like the main hall, the main sanctuary, the auditorium, the way you see the people appreciate Chairman Fred in that moment, man. Dope scene. And even in the moments that Chairman Fred shares with Sister Deborah, while she's pregnant with their unborn son, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., who on a sidebar note, I was actually glad to see that he had a lot to do with the production of this film and spent a lot of actual time on the sets with one of the actual producers of the film, as well as spent a lot of time with the director of the movie, Shaka King. But there are several moments when Chairman Fred, like when one of the on-screen moments that he has with Sister Deborah, the way she kind of calls him out and kind of picks at him for being shy, the way she picks at him about his feet being cold while they're in the bed, or the way she expresses her concern about the fact that she's carrying his unborn seed, and he's out here giving speeches about the fact that he's ready to die and what he's willing to die for. Man, heavy stuff. Man, heavy stuff. Back in 1995, Mario Van Peebles directed and released a movie called Panther. Mario Van Peebles had directed New Jack City a few years before. Loved that. Classic. Then he directed Posse. I ain't dig that too much, but I understood the importance of the story of the black cowboy being told. So the movie Panther was a big deal to me because there hadn't been, well, at least I hadn't seen or did I know about another movie about the Black Panthers that had been told at that time. Now, Mario's version was based on the original Oakland chapter of the Black Panthers. Now, I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but this is another one of those movies where I really just wasn't feeling the story. But once again, I understood the importance of the story being told. And I was hoping that someday somebody else would either retell that story or another story about the Black Panthers. And if you see Mario Van Peebles' Panther, you'll be able to see the similarities between these two stories. Like Kadeem Hardison's character of Judge definitely has William O'Neal written all all over him. It's just Judas, which to me was Panther from 1995 times 10, times 50, meaning 50 times better if I ain't clear. Check out Panther from 1995 if you can. This movie had a lot of learning moments for me. Take for example, there's a scene early on when Chairman Fred is teaching a class, and he lets two of the Panthers know that Chairman Mao's definition of politics is war is politics with bloodshed, and politics is war without bloodshed. Took me a few ticks to really unpack that statement. I had to say it a few times. Also, early on, when Sister Deborah introduces herself to Chairman Fred, after he's done speaking at a rally where they're actually announcing that one of the 7 city colleges of Chicago, here in Chicago, was being renamed Malcolm X College. And Chairman Fred pretty much says that that gesture ain't really standing on too much, and commences to crucify this brother that was in the crowd because he was wearing a dashiki. The scene is heavier than that, and I'm kind of compressing it. Sister Deborah steps to him after the fact and she asks, brother, you know, do you like poetry? Now my man commences to let her know, in the words of Che Guevara, that words are beautiful, but action is supreme. Now, I'm kind of known amongst my peers, at least I've been made aware of the fact that I could be a little heavy-handed at times as far as my verbals are concerned, as far as my viewpoint. Sometimes I can be perceived as if I'm firing at my own troops. And at that moment, at this moment in the movie, I think I finally understood that point. I could actually see how folk could say that. Now, that don't mean I'm gonna change my script up. That don't mean that I'm gonna change up my delivery. That don't mean that I'm gonna cater to sensitive folk. But I did dig it, I understood, and I got an understand. Cause honestly, Sister was just trying to make a connection out the gate, and he kind of sidestepped a little bit. I mean, she stayed at him and she got her king though. But what that learned me is that it's cool at times just to ease back, fall back, and just relax in certain moments, man. Kinda like in Malcolm X, when Angela Bassett, who played Sister Betty Shabazz, that when she told Malcolm that even brothers of the struggle need to eat, them brothers needed to hear that. They needed to hear that. I needed to see that. And at the same time, when sisters see that scene, to know that a man, we do need y'all. We need our sisters. We need that emotional support for those moments when we need to decompress, or to even be the ones that help us decompress, and at the same time doing your best not to add to the pressure. You feel me? You feel me? Okay, riddle me this. So I went looking for a picture of FBI agent Roy Mitchell and couldn't find not one. Why is my question? That's kind of suspect, ain't it? But then again, not really. All right then. In conclusion, my honest feeling is that in 2020, when the COVID pandemic hit, one of the things that I was forced to fall back on was me being able to go to the movies. I mean, that's what I like to do. I really enjoy the entire theater experience. Going, sitting, watching, listening, enjoying the visual, that Lucasfilm THX audio in a theater. I don't buy no damn popcorn though, unless I get one of them free birthday demonstrations from AMC Theater. Then I'll get your popcorn, cause it's free. But other than that, no, it costs too much. But what I actually do is I go to the Walgreens next to the AMC 21, buy me 2 bags of Gardetto's Originals. I bring 2 bottles of my Propel. I bring 2 bottles of my Propel water that I keep in my bag. And hey man, I'm set. But that whole demo for me, for everybody, got cut. Now, like I said, Judas and the Black Messiah was released on the streaming service HBO Max, as well as a limited release in theaters. But come on now, how many of us were actually going to go sit in a theater during that time period? And honestly, not too many people even knew that that movie was released in theaters. I say all that to say this. In short, if all of us had the opportunity to have been able to have mobilized, to mount up, to go see Black Panther, which once again Daniel was in, and directed by Ryan Coogler, I just honestly wish that we could have had that exact same moment this time around. To have done the exact same thing and go to the theater and actually see a true, real Black Panther, Chairman Fred, and put some of those billions towards a true, real icon, not created by Stan Lee. I'm just saying. Marinate on that for a few ticks for me. And something else that hit me after the fact, that Chairman Fred Hampton was born on August 30th, 1948, and died, pardon me, was murdered by the Chicago Police Department and the FBI on December 4th, 1969. Bottom line, the brother was only 21 years old. Now, when I was 10 years old, 21 might as well have been 50. But now that I'm grown, like grown, brother wasn't that much more of a child himself, which speaks loud on the impact that he made in thousands, if not millions of lives, man, and was only here with us for 21 years. Imagine if the feds hadn't decided to declare war on black people, on the black communities, instituted COINTELPRO. But wasn't that really the whole point of it though? The point of what the movie is about? Once again, like J. Edgar Hoover said, to eliminate the rise of a black messiah. Now, Hoover died in 1972, but please believe that the theory of nullifying the rise of another black messiah is still in effect, and these pigs are still at it. All I can say is thank God for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan and the lifelong teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I stand firm on that. This is also one of the movies that I feel the loss of my mother not being around. She was born in 1941. She died in January of 2001. Right before her 60th, she would have been 60 on September 5th, 2001. Point being is that this is one of her stories. This was her time. These were the times of my aunts and my mother, dear Paulette, that are no longer here. But it was great to see that Sister Deborah Johnson, who was the fiance of Chairman Fred, the mother of Fred Hampton Jr., is still here. She's still alive. She changed her name to Akua Najiri. She was a consultant to the movie and is still very much socially active. Look her up. Do the needed homework. And also know that this movie is not a biopic on Chairman Fred. It's more of a movie based on the rat, the snitch, the Judas, William O'Neal. I didn't actually hear, but I've heard that there were people out complaining about the fact that the movie didn't go deeper into the character of Chairman Fred. Well, this ain't that. And if you want to find out more about Chairman Fred, man, go Google the name, find the books, find the documentaries, buy them, watch them, read them, do something, move, stop complaining. The information is out there. Love, hate, or debate. Come on, fam. Man, seriously, love, hate, or debate? I mean, seriously. Man, 5 of my black fists ain't enough for this one at all. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give this one 5 black fists, 5 100s, 5 flames, and 5 Black Panthers. How about that? Now, I said in my review of Harriet that we as in black directed cinema, meaning one of our movies, hadn't had a movie of a high enough bar since Malcolm X, and that was in 1992. Well, as of February of 2021, the bar has officially been raised. Install me out for just a few more ticks. See, it's moments like these that I'm salty, that I'm feeling a certain kind of way, that the movie theaters ain't fully open right about now. That they ain't fully open at full capacity. Because man, once again, as I said on my review about the movie Harriet, Hollywood's bottom line is about that bread, that profit. And as long as we came out to support movies like this one, then more of these kind of movies will get made. You feel me? I mean, honestly, do we need another Lord Jesus Bring Me a Man stage play that's been adapted into a movie where the dark brother or the brown brother plays the villain and Rick Fox comes to save the day again? Or maybe right about now they'd replace Rick Fox with Matt Barnes. I don't know, but you get my point. I'm just saying that I'm hoping that while this movie was available on HBO Max, for the time that it was there, that either folk figured out a way how to subscribe to it so that they could see the movie just to see this, or were able to get to the few theaters that were at least running it. That would have been a great look. But if you didn't do any of those things, and you knew that this movie was out, all I'm saying is that I will be sneak dissing on the low if folk trying to talk to me about the next Black Panther Marvel release. So you're saying to me that you're more interested in where Marvel goes next with a fictional character than this movie about one of our real ones? Huh. Yeah, alright then. Okay. You can miss me with that one, fam. Mind you, I'm well aware that Ryan Coogler is at the helm of the Black Panther franchise. He's getting a series prepared right now on Disney Plus about Wakanda. And Daniel more than likely is gonna be reprising this role. That's dope. That's dope. I get it. I'm just saying, man. Try to remember these words, and you can work them in wherever you want, wherever you think they'll work. But always we, never I. I'm gonna say this again. Always we, never I. All right, put a bow on this one, family, because it is a wrap. And man, y'all will never truly understand how much work I put into this one. If this was your first time visiting, your attendance was much obliged and highly appreciated. My reviews will get better and shorter because these 30-minute and plus ones take a lot out of me. And until I hit the bullseye, I'm gonna keep throwing these damn darts. Man, please pardon me for saying damn so much. Please like, share, hit the subscribe button, click that little bell over there in the corner. Tell 10 people to tell 10 people. I need to reach 25,000 subscribers. And whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and let a brother know. And I will holler black in a few ticks. In a minute, people. Woo! What time is it?